So here's the point by Robert Frost. O star, the fairest one in sight, we grant your loftiness the right to some obscurity of cloud. It will not do to say of night, since dark is what brings out your light. Some mystery becomes the crowd, but to be wholly taciturn in your reserve is not allowed. So then he says, and I think that each of us really relate to this tremendously. Say something. Say something to us. We can learn by heart. And then, when alone, repeat. We want to be able to learn it and repeat it, don't we? The truth. We want something concrete. We want something that we can hold on to. This business of the absolute is it's like to try to pull that down so that we can hold on to it. So what is the absolute? What is this self if it's not anything real, right? I mean, what is it? So he says of the star, say something to us we can learn by heart, and then when alone repeat. Say something. And so here's what the star says. It says, I burn. Well, if you're going to ask the star to say something, what the hell would it say? What would it say? It's like, I burn. That's what most of us are doing. That's what we are all doing. We're all burning. It's true. We're burning. And getting cold. Slowly. Not me, but some of you are. It says, I burn. So then he says, but say with what degree of heat? Talk Fahrenheit. Talk centigrade. Use language we can comprehend. Tell us what elements you blend, right? Can you imagine that? Talking to a star. Talk Fahrenheit. Talk centigrade. Come on, you put it in words that I can understand, right? Tell us what elements you blend. Isn't that just who we are? Isn't that just who we are? I mean, just imagine like sitting before, an enlightened being, a guru, right? Talking language I can comprehend. I need to get it, and so I can hold it. And my mind wants to be able to grasp it. And Rajneesh says that when you grasp something, you have killed it. When I first read that, I thought, oh my God, that's pretty smart. When the mind wants to kill everything so that it can, right, process it, then it's not a mystery any longer. So this is precisely what Frost is saying. That, the star could be the Buddha. It could be any great enlightened being. Talking language that my mind can comprehend. Now that's not, the truth is, it's not my mind. The mind is who I am. So then he says, it gives us strangely little aid. But it does tell something in the end. And steadfast as Keats' eremite, not even stooping from its sphere, it asks a little of us here. It asks of us a certain height. So when at times the mob is swayed to carry praise or blame too far, we may choose something like a star to stay our minds on and be stayed. Isn't that wonderful? Just wonderful. So I think that this practice has to be our star. And it asks of us a certain height, yes. It asks of us a certain sacrifice. And we ask of it perhaps too much in terms of wanting to understand, right? Wanting to understand We want to cram the practice, the Dharma, into our mind. We want to cram it into this little prison. Right? So I want to understand this and this. So what is the purpose of, why are we walking? Well, I could just go on to a million questions. I think you could too. But this idea of the point is that, number one, we are going in the wrong direction. That it is the practice itself that we're to aspire to. And I would add, as the older I get, the more I experience the reality of this. Some people here have a lot of this, and some people don't have that much of it. But it requires some faith. Faith. It really does. It requires some faith, even when you can't imagine touching that star. When you can't imagine, when it seems absolutely beyond, even beyond comprehension, that you could never reach it. The only way that you can, and I can persevere, is to have faith that this really works. It really works. And it really does.